$55.5. Right. 1, 2, 4, 10, 6 and 9. 1, 2, 4. Correct weight, thank you.
There it is. Mr. Lawler is happy. Correct weight is announced on the AAMI Victoria Derby for 1994. For $1 on the Victorian tote, here's what you'll get.
Blevick, $3.80 for the win, $1.50 the place. Number 2, Dane win $1.50, and third 4, Stony Bay, $2 even. The Quinella dividend, $4.40. Trifecta, $32.70, and the race to race double on Dream of the Dance and Blevick paid $229.30. The margins were a half a length by 1 length. The time was 2:35.7, so they had a fair speed. And first 3 place getters, Timmy, I think we'll hear a lot more of. They seem to be very good 3-year-olds.
Yes, Danny, and a mile in front, as you said in the call, of everything else in the race, the first 3. And there is the winner, Blevick, with the beautiful rug from AAMI for winning the 1994 Derby. And what a day for David Hayes. His first Derby, I'm certain, absolutely positive. In fact, it won't be his last. There'll be plenty. And Dad had a smile on his face a mile wide, too, as he led the champ back in. And a great run it was, too. As David said, gutsy horse and a gutsy performance. All right, down to Rob Gaylard for the presentations.
Well, just before Rob takes over the presentation, Tim, we might just head down into the mounting yard, because there are great scenes of joy down here, and this is why the presentation is just taking a little bit longer. And of course, a couple of gentlemen who are very, very used to the feeling of being in the winner's stall are down here, and I speak of David Hayes and also of the managing owner.
The Australians of his time.
And if we can get a word to Mr. Sangster, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Thrilled. I delighted. I felt came from behind. I mean, I don't take anything away from the Japanese jockey. I thought he rode a brilliant race as well. We knew we stayed. I think we outstayed him.
You've won races all over the world. You've won a Melbourne Cup here. What's it like to win a Derby?
Great thrill to win any race in Australia. I mean, I'd be happy in Bundarat. I'd just love to win a race. You know, I travel a long way to get here, and it's been well worth coming here. Absolutely thrilled.
A fella called C.S. Hayes is one of your part owners. He hasn't been a bad friend over the years, and a good partner as well.
A great mate, and we bred it together. I kept worrying when they went past us. I kept saying, "Watch your ticker, Colin, watch your ticker," because he was shaking all over with it. I'd done the travelling. I mean, he's had 4 bypasses. I was more worried about him than the horse or getting up or anything, because he was listening to the wireless. When it went past the place, he said, "We've won, we've won." I said, "Watch yourself, Colin. Don't worry about the horse. We'll have others."
He looks pretty calm and composed behind you, Mr. Sangster. Congratulations. Robert Sangster, manager of the Swettenham Stud, and Colin Hayes is behind us now. I wonder if we can see how calm you are. Robert was a bit worried about you in the last 200 metres.
Well, I've got a history of heart problems, and he was very considerate. He was telling me not to get too excited and all this sort of stuff all the time. But we're very good friends, and it was a great thrill to, we bred the horse and reared it, and to win a Derby with it, and it's a second Group 1. And he's a very stoutly bred horse. He goes back to Larkspur, the English Derby winner, on his dam side, and scenic himself.
I think they want you out there for the presentation, Colin, so go and enjoy the moment. We are set for the presentation. Let's go to our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Gaylard.
AMI Victoria Derby, Chairman of the Victoria Racing Club, Mr. David Burke, CBE.
Your Excellency, Mr. Premier, Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We've now seen the running of the AAMI Victoria Derby, the feature race of today's program, and before introducing to you to make the presentation the chairman of AAMI, I would like to thank AAMI for their sponsorship of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask the chairman of AAMI, Mr. Brian Keane, to make the presentation.
Your Excellency, Sir John Young, Administrator of Victoria, Premier, Mr. Kennett, Mr. Burke, Chairman of the VRC, distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we at AAMI are delighted and proud to be associated with the VRC in the presentation of AAMI Victoria Derby Day. Without doubt, the best racing, the best horses on the best race course anywhere. And it's Melbourne at its best. And AAMI is proud to be playing its part in this great carnival. The Victoria Derby itself is rich in history and heritage, and AAMI's association with it is one which we trust over time will itself become a tradition. And today that heritage has been extended with the marvellous win of Blevick. On behalf of AAMI, could I congratulate the owners, the Swettenham stud, Mr. Sangster and Mr. Hayes, on yet another fantastic win. To the trainer David Hayes, David, something we just simply expect you to do on big race days, and to the jockey Rodney Griffiths. And could I ask Mr. Robert Sangster to accept the trophy for the 1994 AAMI Victoria Derby. Congratulations, Robert. Well done.
Mr. Premier, Chairman of the VRC, the committee and distinguished guests, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. I arrived this morning from Europe because Colin Hayes told me he thought we got a hell of a chance to win the Derby, and it's a great moment. I think David Hayes has done a great job training the horse, and particularly the jockey Rod Griffiths, I thought, rode a sensational race, coming from behind and finishing terribly well. I think it was a great race he rode, and my only sadness really is that Gay Waterhouse was second, because she comes from a great Australian racing family, and I think she did a hell of a job with the second horse, and if we hadn't have won, I wish Gay had won. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, thank you very much to Robert Sangster. Of course, Gay, the trainer of the third horse there, Stony Bay, but we forgive him, having just arrived from Europe. But what a great finish, but you'd expect that in a race of this stature and of this class. Blevick getting up over Danewin with Stony Bay running third, and you may have noticed there, I think he's the racing manager for the syndicate here in Australia, Peter, Robert Hawke, consoling Jackie Che, who's obviously pretty upset.
Yeah, amazing scenes down here, Tim, while the presentation was going on. Jackie Che, Jen, tears streaming down his face, and Bob Hawke was there and just trying to console him. He's obviously a very shattered young man.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Look, he's come all this way. In the papers in Hong Kong, it's just been unbelievable. The raps on the horse and him riding it in the Derby. Also the Cox Plate last week and River Bird and all the hype of the Spring Carnival over there. And, you know, it's a little bit sad for him because, you know, the horse is great. He rode a good race and he's just been beaten on the line.
I think as we look at it, here it is here, and you can see Bob Hawke trying to console him, and we do tend to forget about the pressure that is placed upon the shoulders of these young men. As you said, not only here in Australia, but in his home country in Hong Kong. I mean, the pressure must be just unbelievable.
Yes, well, that will no doubt make the news tonight, and, you know, he's done a good job, and he's just beaten by the better horse in the day.
We were talking throughout the race, and we said over about the 1600, well, he's just followed what he should do to the letter of the law. He was parked behind Stony Bay on the fence, and he rode it terrifically. Probably his style is a little bit different in the last 200 metres, his whip style, to the style that we're used to.
That's true. A lot of Australians wouldn't be used to the style that they do use in Hong Kong, and it varies because there's jockeys from all over the world there, and he tends to use the English style, so it looks like he's not hitting the horse that much, but believe me, it is quite effective.
So scenes of contrast down here in the mounting yard. We saw the joy on the face of Robert Sangster and Colin Hayes and David Hayes, and of course the shattering disappointment for the runner-up, and they'll remember the winner. I wonder if they'll remember in 12 months' time what horse ran second in the AAMI Victoria Derby. But they'll remember these horses for a long time to come, because they are the tops, the cream of the crop in the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes. It's coming up at 3:25. Before we have a look at the field, here's Dan Malicki with a tote call.
Thank you, Peter. Rough Habit, the old 8-year-old. He ran second of the end across in this race 2 years ago. 5, 10 and 160 Rough Habit. Air Seattle, $28. Reading, $3.60. Jeune at $6.60. Irish Rort 51, top rating 12.50, Ballpark 36, Paris Lane, the Caulfield Cup winner, $4.30. Number 9 is Tenor at $13, and the 6-year-old Grandmere Excited Angel, $12.50. I wonder if we'll see the Melbourne Cup winner and perhaps even favourite for the race come out of this event.
Well, there it is. Bob Hawke still with Jackie Che, and he is still a very upset young man. You can see the tears of disappointment, but he'll have his day in the sun, hopefully one other day. Victoria Derby Day of 1994 wasn't that day. Well, there's going to be some big wagers here in the Mackinnon Stakes. It's worth pointing out, too, that only 4 times has the winner of the Mackinnon Stakes in the last 33 years won the Melbourne Cup. We've got 4 horses here vitally concerned and involved in the Melbourne Cup, and it's going to be a big betting race. Terry Kennedy's down there.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think I can read lips. I think he said, "Go, Blev, get up." I love $1 for every time I've yelled "get up" at a horse, and nothing's happened, absolutely nothing. David Hayes getting very excited, even though his dad wasn't allowed to over the Derby win. Great win it was too.
Leading them out will be the evergreen Rough Habit. He thrilled the crowd with a last-to-first win in the Caulfield Stakes before almost pulling off the same achievement in last week's Cox Plate. The stands will rock if the veteran can salute today. Both Rough Habit and this bloke, Redding, are off to Japan next month. The big chestnut beat subsequent Caulfield Cup winner Paris Lane on protest in the Turnbull, and last Saturday he wobbled around the turn before running third in the Cox Plate. It's his final test before the Japan Cup. Expect improvement from failed Cox Plate favourite Jearn. He'll race in blinkers and pacifiers today, having trialled well in that gear on Tuesday. And of course, Shane Dye today jumps into the saddle. There have been few easier wins in major races than top ratings victory in the Moonee Valley Cup. He's now the Melbourne Cup favourite and will lack nothing on the score of horsemanship through Greg Hall. Expect the big son of Nassipor to be running on strongly. And then there's little Paris Lane. He walks like an old trotter, but he gallops like the wind. Ask the connections of the 17 rivals he left in his wake in the Caulfield Cup. Lee Freedman and Damien Oliver have long been a feared combination.
Oh, you're a good judge if you can pick the winner of the Mackinnon this year, I'm here to tell you. A real good judge. Quickly, here are our 3 telephone numbers for the 3 designers you should call if you want to win that. So it's absolutely no surprise to me that he's turned up here on Derby Day. Clive James, g'day.
G'day. It was a disaster derby for me. Yeah, every penny I had in the world. $20 of my manager's hard-earned money. And I had it on horse number 2, Dane Win, and Dane Win, Dane lost.
Yeah, came second, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I had all the hot tips, you know, because the phones have been running hot from Hong Kong down to here this morning. Cantonese phone calls have been flooding in. You know, the money was going up like that. And I put all the dough on, and I thought I was in like Flynn. As I was walking away, Scobie Breesley went past. This is up in the members' lounge,
yeah. Yep.
And Scobie, recognisable even without his horse. Dressed like me. Going back. Said, "What do you like in this race, Scobie?" He said, "I think I like that Blevic," he said. And I turned and I saw the window, and I had 10 seconds to get to it to change my bet, and I didn't make it. The window closed. Yeah.
I noticed your manager had a rather sort of downcast look about him.
Yeah, he's a rather suave guy. He won on the previous race.
Incidentally, you are looking very resplendent.
Well, I dress like this every day, but usually I wear it at home to watch television. And this is one of the rare occasions where I've actually worn it. No kidding, this is actually my first Melbourne Cup.
Is that right?
To have my physical presence here.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I listened to the Melbourne Cup like the whole of Australia every time. You know? And I was in a sweep once, and when Bernborough won.
Yeah.
And I had threepence in, and I think I took half a crown, 2 and 6 out, as we called it in those days. And I never got over the thrill. But then the following year I lost, and it taught me a lesson. Gambling is dangerous. You can lose your money.
A lot of it. Yeah. Ask any of these people out here.
So I very rarely do it now. And it's usually wiser to borrow money from a friend in order to gamble.
Yes.
And then after you've lost, forget to pay it back.
Oh, Hawkey's here. He's got plenty of money. You noticed him consoling young Jack.
Yes, I thought it was a touching moment, you know, because Hawke has always been so compassionate with people who lose. And, of course, it's a great change for him to see someone else cry. But he was there in the members. You meet them in the members' lounge, you know.
Yeah, you do.
Sangster, Hawke,
I'm
all the
getting
greats.
a wind up by my director here, but quickly, why are you here?
Well, I'm speaking at the Monash Medical Centre Gala, you know, because it's a great cause, and BMW is presenting his new car, and it's presenting a lot of money to Monash Medical Centre, which is very good. And I'm giving the speech. And also, I just wanted to be at the race, you know, and be part of it all.
Be here on Tuesday too?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Sure, and how. Yeah.
Good to see you here.
Yeah, I'm really dressing up on Tuesday.
We'll have a quiet one at some stage.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Quiet times.
A few colds.
A few coldies, yes, absolutely. Good to see him here in Melbourne. PD, down for the McKinnon. I tell you what, I like the top weight, but then again, doesn't everybody love a champion?
We just saw him come into the yard here, Tim, and he looks absolutely terrific, Rough Habit, Jen.
He looks the best I've seen him for a long, long time. What can you say about him? He's a terrific old horse, this fella. He's a chance in anything he races in. Today's only worry is there's not going to be all that much pace on. And, you know, most of these horses do want to get back. Paris Lane, Irish Rod are the ones who are probably going to be left in front here. And, you know, Rough Habit, as I said, if you like him, is the crowd pleaser. Have something on him by all means.
Air Seattle number 2, Rodney Griffiths, coming down to earth after riding Blevik, probably not suited under weight for age.
No, he probably isn't. I think he normally does struggle under weight for age, Pete. I think that's a fair enough comment.
Redding's off to Japan for the Japan Cup number 3, Danny Brereton, the rider. He probably should have won the Cox Plate last week, bar for wobbling around the home turn.
He's a terrific horse, Redding. He has had a lot of leg problems, this fellow. Every time he races, it takes the trainer a long while to get him right again. But he's a chance in anything as well, this fellow. He'll certainly give you a run for his money.
Jeune started favourite in the Cox Plate last week and flopped. You can see there he's got the blinkers and the pacifiers on. I think most people know what blinkers are, Jen. Pacifiers, what are they?
Oh, it helps with these big crowds, and in the race it also helps the horse try and settle a little bit more.
There's a good shot of them there.
Yes, there's a shot. Look, Jeune, I think you have to forgive him for his last effort at Moonee Valley. The trainer, David Hayes, says he doesn't like the small track there at Moonee Valley. I think you'll see an improved run from him here, and he's in there with a very good chance.
Said Irish Rod's probably going to be up near the lead. Is he going to be there at the end of 2,000 metres, though?
No, I don't think so. I think he will be, you know, certainly near the lead, but not there at the end.
Moonee Valley Cup winner and the Melbourne Cup favourite is number 6 top rating. Greg Hall inherited the ride when Damien Oliver decided to stick with Paris Lane, but with no pace on today, I think he's probably going to find it hard.
Yes, look, he's coming back to the 2,000 metres here. He won the Moonee Valley Cup over 2,600. This horse is revved up for the Melbourne Cup. He looks an absolute picture. He'll run very well, no doubt, but I think the Melbourne Cup is his aim on Tuesday.
Gall Park was second in the Kunji, but he's flying pretty high in this company.
Yes, I think you'll find this far too tough, Pete.
The Caulfield Cup winner, number 8, Paris Lane. Damien Oliver, the rider. Lee Friedman, the trainer. He treated his rivals with contempt in the Caulfield Cup.
He did. He's had 2 weeks to recover from that record-breaking win. And look, this horse is a terrific horse. He's on the way up. I think he's going to be extremely hard to beat in this race.
Number 9 is Tenor Grant Cooksley aboard. And speaking of the Caulfield Cup, he ran a terrific race then and was the medium of very heavy support that day.
He is as honest as they come, Tenor. He runs terrific races. He's always there at the end. He's certainly got a good each-way chance in this.
And Excited Angel's got a heart as big as herself, but, well, again, is she flying too high in this company?
Well, she could be. She's been a terrific horse. She's probably got to be left there with a place chance in this company.
All right, terrific field, Jen, in one word.
Paris Lane from Tenor and Jeune. It's a few more than that.
A few more than one, but Paris Lane from Jenny Chapman, Paris Lane from me too. One of the great races on Derby Day, the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes. They're going to the stalls now. We'll take a break and we'll be back with you very shortly to see how some of the Melbourne Cup hopefuls shape up.
Sunday on Habit $5.30, Redding $4, Jeune $5.40. Paris Lane is the popular elect, and it is showing $3.80 for the win. Gary, what's your tip for the race?
Oh, well, look, I like the look of Redding. I thought old Rough Habit looks great, but this is a very interesting race. Jeune also looked very well, Dan.
Some real class acts engaged here in the last two going into the stalls. There's Seattle about to join them. Ran second in the Caulfield Cup in 1993. All set for the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes. Racing now. Excited Angel a bit tardy away with Jeune towards the inside. Top rating in Air Seattle immediately getting back in the field. And Ball Park landed in front. The New Zealander is a clear leader early on. Irish Rort went up on the outside. Reading was third, and Paris Lane sneaks into the box seat, fourth the inside. Then came Tenor easing back to fifth, and Jeune went up on its inside, followed by Rough Habit. As you would expect, there is not a lot of speed on Excited Angel back in the field. Air Seattle trapped 3 wide for the moment, second last, and Top Rating at the tail of the field. 6 lengths would cover them as they go to the 1,600 metre point, and Ball Park on top, about 3/4 of a length clear. Irish Rort was second, Paris Lane third the inside. A length and a half away then to Jeune, who's racing fifth over on the rails as they work along the back of the course. Reading outside him, and then Tenor racing sixth, followed by Excited Angel. Then came Rough Habit, Air Seattle 3 deep, and a length away last of all was Top Rating. 1,200 metres left to go. Ball Park is the pilot. He leads by a length and a quarter. Irish Rort second on the outside of Paris Lane, and 1.5 to Reading running fourth. Then came Jeune, fifth the inside of Tenor, 1.5 to Excited Angel. Then Air Seattle and Rough Habit, and 2 lengths away last of all was Top Rating. They're inside the 1,000 metre point now, and Ball Park the leader. He's been in front from the start. 3/4 of a length to Irish Rort, and a half a length away Paris Lane third the inside. Now Tenor improving, going to fourth, followed by Reading. Rough Habit getting closer. He's 4 lengths off the lead, and then came Jeune the rail. Air Seattle, Excited Angel, and 2 lengths away Top Rating last of all. They sweep into the turn, 550 metres to go. Ball Park is being joined by Irish Rort. Tenor goes up 3 wide. There's a run for Paris Lane down on the rail, and Oliver takes it. Further out was Reading, and then came Jeune, Excited Angel, Rough Habit. Down to the 300, Paris Lane got through on the inside to take the lead. Jeune coming out after him. Tenor Reading down the outside with Rough Habit. It's Paris Lane in front, Excited Angel getting through. Tenor fighting on well, Paris Lane in front of Tenor. Excited Angel on the inside, Jeune late, but Paris Lane in front. Jeune lunging late, but won't get him. Paris Lane's one and a neck to Jeune. Excited Angels run third, Tenor fourth. Top Rating very much an eye catcher. See him sneaking through for fifth. Rough Habit didn't finish it off, and neither did Reading. Then Ball Park, Air Seattle, and Irish Rort.
Well, what can you say about Damien Oliver? He's just in brilliant form. He's ridden his horse to perfection. Had a beautiful run all the way. Ball Park's rolled off the fence a fraction. Damien was in there like a shot out of a gun.
340 and 150, a copybook ride. Jeune $1.80, and Excited Angel $3.13. You'll find that's the way they have finished 8, 4 and 10. Too often we give out superlatives for Damien Oliver, but he's just done it again. It was just a super ride over on the rails there. And Lee Freedman, another Group 1 for Lee, and Lee is the winning trainer of Paris Lane, who's taken the spring before him, most consistent animal, and surely one of the favourites for the Melbourne Cup.
One of the great runs in the race was Jeune. It pulled a little bit hard, but it certainly got home well the last little bit. Top Rating, I noticed in the run, was pulling fairly hard, but it has run home well. But all the honours are with the winner, Paris Lane.
Okay, let's go to Lee Freedman, the trainer of Paris Lane. Lee is talking with our own Peter Donegan.
We were singing his praises before, Lee, Damien Oliver, but he's come out and proven that he can go one better.
Yeah, it was a magnificent ride, but it was a magnificent staying effort too. He was challenged on all sides of a furlong to run and just kicked back like a real stayer and was drawing clear again at the finish. Yeah.
Real racehorses, when they lose their balance up again. About the 500 metre mark, when he was looking for the inside, he got checked out pretty badly there.
He did, and an ordinary horse that would have put him out of the race, but he's such a great racehorse, he just put his head down and went again, you know.
As we look at the closing stages, now hands and heels, they say all the great riders can get them to the line hands and heels, and that's exactly what D. Oliver had to do.
Particularly in the McKinnon Stakes. It's a beautiful sight. He outstayed him. That's fair and square, I thought.
They just looked to be queuing up behind him to knock him off in the last 300 metres, didn't they?
Well, they were all there, and a couple of them actually got to him inside the furlong, but he's just outstayed him in the finish.
Here's the head on. You can see there, probably his back legs got knocked a little bit, but when he drove him through, he's got great balance, this horse. Now, onto the Melbourne Cup, obviously, the 3,200 metres.
Not a concern. No concern at all. He's just won the Caulfield Cup and the McKinnon. What more do you want?
Well, I think he's going to be very hard to beat, but everyone wants to know your opinion, and you've got no doubt.
Well, seeing is believing, and I believe he can win.
All right, Lee, congratulations.
Thank you.
Lee Freedman, the winning trainer with Paris Lane. What a great ride by this young fellow, Damien Oliver. He's with John Letts.
Damien, it's a great ride and third on the fence after you got a furlong. How'd you feel?
Thanks, John. Yeah, we're in the sweet seat and I was very happy.
Damien, your Melbourne Cup looks good now, doesn't he? He went to the line under hands and heels today. Nice soft win.
Yeah, it was a very good win. The horse gives you his best under hands and heels anyway. He tends to run about when you hit him, but today was a very strong win. And I think I surprised a few people when I chose this horse, but now you see why.
Well, Damien, really, you didn't surprise me because I thought he broke a record at his first try over 2400. Who's to say that he can't run 32?
Yeah, well, he's a master trainer, Lee Friedman. He gets the horses to settle, and I just got to steer him.
Yes, and he settled beautiful for you today, didn't he? He's going to give you a lovely ride in the Melbourne Cup. How'd you like barrier 1, 2 or 3?
Be handy, wouldn't it?
Good luck, mate, and good luck on Tuesday with him.
Damien Oliver talking with John Letson. I've got the feeling that young fellow does just a little bit more than just steer them. They are well prepared by Lee Friedman, no doubt about that. But Damien Oliver has produced a tremendous ride. And be watching some of those behind the place getters. As Dan Malicki said, there was one chestnut horse that was running on pretty nicely at the end of the race for a 3,200-metre assignment, and that was Top Rating. But all honours are with the winner, Paris Lane, getting a tremendous reception with Damien Oliver returning after winning the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes in the time of 2:06.6. Jeune second, an improved effort. Third placing to the Gallup Mare Excited Angel. Tenor was fourth, and Old Rough Habit fifth. Back to Flemington shortly. You're watching Network 10's live and exclusive coverage of the Melbourne Cup Carnival.
Tuesday. 8, 4, 10, 9, 1 and 6. 8, 4, 10, 9, 1 and 6.
8, 4, 10, 9, 1, 6. He's happy. Correct weight. So now, on the McKinnon, we can pay you on the Victorian Tote Hero your dividends for $1.
Was the favourite with the tote punters to Paris Lane. $3.40 the winner, $1.50 for the place. 4 Jeune second, $1.80 and 10. Excited Angel, $3.30. Quinella paid $7.10. Trifecta, $165.20. The race-to-race double returning $14.60. The margins were a long neck, a half length. As we mentioned in the call, it was a dawdling run race, and the time for the trip was 2 minutes 6.6, which is not a genuine mile and a quarter speed, but there were some eye catchers in the race.
Thank you, Danny. Yes, eye catchers indeed, and that's what your Melbourne Cup punters are looking for as a bit of a guide. The Louis Vuitton LKS McKinnon Stakes, won by a game little bloke. He's only a little fella too, he really is.
He's almost unbelievable at Caulfield. Here's what tote punters have made of it with Dan Malicki.
Really is like a Melbourne Cup for the sprinters, this Southcore Packaging Stakes. Poetic King has opened up at $8.10. Primacy, a multiple Group 1 winner, look at that price, $21.20. All Our Mob, $9.40. Hariba, the favourite, $2.70, unbeaten at Flemington. Simonstad, $10.70. Ali Shan won this race last year, $23.30. Bent Masqué, $8.90. Roosland, $23.40 for the win. Number 9 is You Remember, $18.30. Legal Agent, $78. Carptingly, $38. Let Him Ride, $117. Roanoke Boy, $72. Royal Discard, $35. Espinosa, $55.90. Just Awesome, $69. Horse number 17 is Magic of Money, $57.30. And the heavyweight is the bottom weight in this race, showing $27.80 on the opening call. And Hariba, as perhaps predicted, Pete, is the clear favourite.
Yes, and it is an open race by the same token, Dan. There's any number of chances here. I think they'll probably back at least 6 or 8 runners in this race. Traditionally, they do in what used to be called the Gadsden, now the Southcore Packaging Stakes.
Fascinated by fashion? If you are, there's some magnificently and elegantly attired people here today. Everyone does get dressed up to come out to Derby Day. In fact, for the whole week, of course. Can't wait to see the outrageous people and what they wear on Melbourne Cup Day on Tuesday, and we'll be here, of course. Well, there's a lot of peripheral things, of course, go on, and when you look behind the scenes, some of it is quite amazing, and one of them is the catering. You've got no idea. The beer runs into the hundreds of thousands of cans, thousands of kilos of lobster. Anyway, the catering, Gordon Bray went to find out.
The days of a plain meat pie and a hot dog at the races are a dim memory. I'm in the Terrace restaurant, which is regarded as the finest at any sporting venue in the Southern Hemisphere. Mind you, there will be 30,000 meat pies consumed here at Flemington today, but you won't find any in here.
There's a lot of pressure. They're all come here to work just to produce the food we do. They all come from very good places, full-time jobs. They come here on a part-time to work here.
AVS Catering looks after all the food outlets on course. There are over 60 hospitality marquees feeding 12,000 mouths. Snags are now gourmet sausages. Yes, the cuisine would befit any five-star hotel.
Things have